Hey traders, I wanted to do some live trading for you this morning. I've already taken a couple trades already. I'll show you real quick. So if we look at my Teladoc, if you remember from my video yesterday, I had initially sold a put at 157.50 and then I bought the 140 leg later to turn it into a spread. So I closed out the short leg earlier this morning because Teladoc is up and I was able to buy it back for 15 cents. I'm just going to leave the long leg there. It's only at 2 cents right now. I'll just let it expire worthless. You know, if for some reason Teladoc stock drops a lot today, then that put will become worth more, so then I could probably sell it for something. I'll just show you, so initially you can see at the bottom I put this trade on the 29th, and I collected $1.28, and then a few minutes later is when I bought the second leg for 24 cents, then I closed it for 15 cents today. So that's still a pretty good profit of what, maybe 90 cents for that trade. My win is down a little over 4 points right now. So I had initially sold the 85 strike, and I was able to roll it down to 81.50 and still receive a credit. So if we look at that real quick, today you can see at the bottom that was my roll. So I rolled it and still got paid 8 cents to roll it. Okay, so I still have a few other trades I need to roll because they're below my strike. So I'm going to start with Starbucks. Yesterday it was above my strike, but now it's dropped below it. So I'm going to go ahead and roll. I'm currently at the 76 strike. If I scroll down to the bottom and hit create rolling order, it's going to roll me into the same strike price for next week, and you can see it showing me getting paid about over $600 for that roll. But what I'm going to do is try to lower my strike price and still get a credit. So I'm going to lower this 76 to lower it to say 74 just to see what it looks like. So you can see I can lower this 2 points. It will get me back my strike price back below the stock price, and I'm going to get paid about $90. I may not get 90. I'm going to lower it a little bit just to see if I can get a good feel. And let's hit confirm and see what happens. Okay, so it filled. I got filled actually at 20 cents. So that was a good roll, and again now I'm back below my strike price is back below the stock price, and if I have to roll it again next week, I'll do it. MU is another one. I took a gamble yesterday that I mentioned where I sold the put yesterday expiring today, and I picked a strike price pretty close to the stock price. So now that's coming back to bite me, but that's fine. I'll just roll it and stick with it. And and again, the reason why I roll, because if you look at MU, it shows that I'm down $1,500 from putting this trade on. So I could close the trade now and just be done with it, but I'm going to take a $1,500 loss if I do it, because my initial credit on this trade, you can see trade price is 57 cents. So I got paid $570, but now it's going to cost me $2,200 to buy it back, and I don't want to take that loss. So what I'm going to do is roll the position just like we did on the other one, and you can see it's giving me about 600. If I keep the same strike price, I'm going to do the same thing I did on the other one and lower the strike price. Let's go down to 46.50 and give it a second to register. So anytime where you see the price shows a negative number, right now it shows negative 0.04, that means I'm going to have to pay to roll it. So I'd have to pay $38 to roll this. I'm not going to get a credit if I want to roll down to that strike price. Now it's showing me I'm getting a credit of $12. So it's constantly adjusting the mid price. So I'm going to try to get it for a penny so I can roll it down 1 point and still get a credit. Let's see if that'll fill. Okay, it didn't fill immediately. So I'm going to go in and adjust it. Oh, it just filled. So when I went to go try to cancel my order, it gave me an error because it actually filled before I had a chance to do it. So if we go back and look on the fill tab, we can see that I did get filled for that penny. So I didn't get much of a credit next week, but I was able to lower my strike price a whole point. So I mean, it's the stock is still down below that strike price, but next week, if the stock is still down, hopefully I can roll it again another point down, and that'll get me back closer to where the stock is. And again, that was just a risk that I took, hoping that today it would be above my strike and I could make that quick money in a day, and then I would have sold the put again for next week. But now I'm going to be stuck rolling this till next week and maybe the week after. But if you're not already in MU and you want to get into it, it may be a good time. Let's take a look and see what the strike prices look like for next week. So I typically, look for a credit of around 50 cents. So you can see the 42.50 strike price for next week is paying around 55 cents, the mid price. If we scroll to the right, you can see the probability of out of the money for that is 75%. So if I was putting this trade on as a new trade, that's probably where I would put it on at, is at 42.50, and that's a good 3 points away from where the stock is now. And again, if the stock would have been above my strike today, I could have closed that out and then put on a new trade like this. Okay, so I've already rolled my win. Teladoc I've closed. Starbucks we've already rolled. Micron I've already rolled. Last one is AMC. Again, that was maybe another riskier one. Selling puts on movie stocks, but it's a cheap stock. I'm not too worried about having to stick with this one. It's taking up very little of my margin. But let's go ahead and look at what a roll looks like. And again, if I wanted to just be done with this stock, I could close it out. Right? If I wanted to close this out, it would be a $325 loss. But I'm going to roll it. And you see it's going to give me about a 30-cent credit if I stick with the 5 strike price. Let's see if I can roll it down to 450. So it shows me paying 5 cents to roll it. And if we go look at my original credit, let me hit cancel here and go back, show you. So I'm going to look for AMC. And let's look last 7 days. So you can see my initial credit, that when I put this on the 29th, I received a credit for 36 cents. So even if I have to pay a debit of 5 cents to roll it, I'm still going to have an overall credit of 31 cents. So that's why I'm not too worried about having to pay a debit for this roll. So let's try to see if I can get filled if I roll down to 4.5. Normally I would let this sit here for a few minutes to see if it would fill. But just for the example's sake on the video, I'll go ahead and adjust it, hit cancel replace order, and instead of 5 I'm going to do 10 cents. So now I'm giving up, my initial credit was 36 cents. By paying the 10 cents to roll it, I'm going to only have a overall credit now of 26 cents. Hit send, and it filled. So the good thing is, at least my strike is 50 cents lower, so now I'm at the 4.5 strike. The stock is below that, but it at least gets me closer to the stock, so that next week Hopefully it will be back above it, or if I have to roll again, I can maybe roll down to the 4 strike, and may have to pay a little debit to do that. But again, I've got still 26 cents to play with before I'm actually losing money on the rolls. So that's everything. I always typically just do one last double check to make sure I don't see anything that's expiring this week that I didn't take care of. So we could see I've already rolled that one. MU, we're good there. Starbucks, I'm good. Teladoc, I'm fine. And then Win, I've already rolled. So I'm not going to place any new trades for next week just because I've got those 4 positions that I've had to roll. I'd like to have a couple of those free up before I added a new position. If I do add a new position next week, it would probably be a credit spread so that it doesn't take up a lot of my buying power. But I haven't decided if I'm going to do that or not. I'm probably just going to hold tight and see how next week plays out before I add anything new. If you have any questions, let me know.